everyone, this is Sarah. Welcome to my crochet channel. Now recently I released my front post beanie pattern for the youth to adult size. I had many people asking me for child sizes, and I was really happy about that because I already had them in the works. This video today I'm going to show you how to make the child size beanie and how to adjust it for 3 sizes. The largest size is the child size. It measures about 14 inches around and about 6 inches in length. The toddler size is about 12 inches around and about 5 inches and a half in length. And then the sweet baby size or infant size, it measures about 10 inches around and only measures about 5 inches in length. But keep in mind when you're making baby hats that every baby's head is different, and you may need to add a little length or subtract a little length when making these for someone. Now you'll find the free pattern on my blog, and that link is in the notes underneath this video. What you'll need to make one of these hats is roughly 3 to 4 or 5 ounces of yarn, depending on the size that you're going to make. Now the yarn I'm going to be using today is some that I have left over from my bunches of hugs that Red Heart sent me. And I'm going to be using the solid teal and then this one as well to stripe it. This yarn is a number 4, so you can use any worsted weight number 4 yarn for these hats. We're going to be stitching today with our H hook. The H is an H8, which is a 5.0 millimeter crochet hook. You'll need a pair of scissors, and then you'll need a needle for weaving in your ends. I'm going to be making the child size, and then I'm going to give you instructions on how to make the toddler and the infant as we go along. And you'll see there's not much difference other than how we begin. So we're going to start with our slip knot. And then we're going to chain 5. We're going to join this chain 5 into a loop, so I'll put the tail of my yarn over my hook and pull it through the loop. And then we'll snug that down and tie that stay knot. Alrighty. We're going to go in that chain 5, pull up a loop, and chain 3. If you're making the child size, you're going to need to stitch 11 more double crochets so that you'll have 12. If you're making the toddler size, you'll need to make 9 more double crochets so that you'll have 10. And if you're making the infant size, you'll need to stitch 7 more double crochets so that you'll have 8. So our chain 3 counts as our first double crochet, and I'm going to double crochet 11 more double crochets. All right, let's see how many I have. Our chain 3 counts as our first one, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and this will make 12. I'm going to join to the top of the chain 3 with a slip stitch and chain 3. So just to be clear, for your beginning circle, for the child size, you need 12 double crochets. For the toddler size, you need 10 double crochets. And for the infant size, you need 8 double crochets. For row 2, we're going to stitch all sizes exactly the same. The only difference is you'll have less stitches. So what we're going to do is our chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. We're going to place a front post double crochet around the next stitch. So we're going to go around the post, not the top, but the post of the next double crochet, and stitch our double crochet. And then we're going to go behind and stitch a double crochet in the top of that double crochet. And that's the way this row will work. Front post double crochet, and then a regular double crochet. We're going to continue front post double crochet all the way around, and if you're doing the child size, you'll have 24 stitches. If you're doing the toddler size, you'll have 20, and if you're doing the infant size, you'll have 16. But the row is done exactly the same. You just have different amounts of stitches. So front post double crochet, the next stitch, and then reach back and double crochet in that same stitch. We'll continue this all the way around this row. Double crochet, front post, double crochet, front post, double crochet, double crochet, all the way around till we get back to our chain 3. I completed row 2, and at the end I'm on my last front post here, and here's our chain 3. We're not going to add an extra double crochet. We're going to go right in the top of that chain 3 and make a slip stitch and chain 3. All right, now for row 3, again it's exactly the same. There's just a difference in stitch count. So we're going to stitch a front post double crochet in the next front post double crochet. Then we're going to stitch 2 double crochets in the double crochet. Then we'll stitch front post double crochet, and then 2 double crochets in that double crochet that's in between. And you do this for all 3 sizes. and this is how that it should look. Front post, 2 double crochets in between, front post, 2 double crochets in between, all the way around. So I've repeated the front post, 2 double crochets in between all the way around till I've reached this last front post stitch. And we're going to place 1 double crochet in that same stitch as that chain 3, and then we'll join to the top of our chain 3 with a slip stitch and chain 3. Now at this point, for your child size, you should have 36 stitches. For your toddler size, you'll have 30 stitches. And for your infant size, you'll have 24 stitches. All right, so let's do row 4. Our chain 3 counts as 1 double crochet. We're going to stitch in that front post. We're going to stitch 1 double crochet in the next double crochet, and then we're going to stitch 2 double crochets in the next. And that's the way that row 4 will work, working all the way around till we reach our last front post. We'll stitch a front post. We'll stitch 1 double crochet in the next, and then 2 double crochets in the next. And repeat. That gives us a front post with 3 double crochets in between, and we'll continue this on around till we get to this last front post. So I have completed row 4 up through the last front post stitch. And we have the 1 chain 3 that counts as 1 double crochet. So in this next double crochet stitch, we need to place 2 double crochets. That way we have 3 in between, like all our other ones. We'll join to the top of that chain 3. There we go. With a slip stitch and chain 3. Now at this point, if you're doing the child size, you should have 48 stitches around. If you're doing the toddler size, you should have 40 stitches around, and if you're doing the infant size, you'll have 36. Now at this point, we will not do any more increasing. This is the size of your hat. All right, so what we're going to do for the next row is we're going to do exactly the stitches that are here. We'll do a front post stitch, then we'll stitch 1 double crochet in those 3 in between. And again, this is for all 3 sizes, and the only difference is you have less stitch groups. So I'm stitching a front post, double crochet in the front post, double crochet, and then I'm stitching 1 double crochet in each of those 3 double crochets in between the front post stitches. And on this row, you should notice your hat start to curling. And that's exactly what it's supposed to do. Front post in the front post, and 1 double crochet in each of those 3 in between, and we'll work this all the way around till we reach that last front post double crochet stitch. And again, this is for all 3 sizes: infant, toddler, and child. I've completed that 5th row up to my last front post double crochet stitch. We have our chain 3 here that counts as 1, and so we'll place 1 double crochet in those 2 so that we have 3 in between like all the other ones. We'll join to the top of our chain 3, and you'll notice that your hat is scooping up some, and this is the outside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my hat and flip it out. That way it's on the outside, and I'll just stitch this way. At this point, if you would like to change colors or put in some striping, I'm going to show you how to do that. You can cut your yarn if you want to, but if you're going to bring your yarn back in, I suggest just letting it trail up the inside, and that's what I'm going to do. When you're changing colors for your stripes, add your color in first and then do your chain 3. Now my colors are somewhat similar, it's just lighter. But if you were to put in, say, a bright red or green or even a black or dark blue, that first chain 3, if you did the chain 3 and then changed colors, you would have 1 stitch in the wrong color. All right, so we're going to leave this on here, let it trail on, and we're going to bring in our new color. We changed 3, and now I'm going to continue with what I did on the previous row. Front post double crochet and then 1 double crochet in each of those 3 double crochets. And this is the same for all 3 sizes. So I've got my lighter blue in, and I'm just going to repeat what we did on row 5. Double crochet in the double crochet, and then take 2. I've got my lighter color, and we're just going to repeat what we did on row 5. We stitched a front post double crochet, then 1 double crochet in the 3 double crochets, and repeat all the way around till we reach this last front post double crochet, and then we'll repeat putting 1 in those 2 and joining to the top of the 3rd chain. I've completed my row 6. I've done my last front post double crochet, and I'm going to place 1 double crochet in those last 2 double crochets, join to the top of the chain 3 with that slip stitch, and chain 3. Now I'm doing the child size, so I'm going to repeat this row for 5 more rows. If you're doing the toddler size, you'll repeat this row for 4 more rows. And if you're doing the infant size, you'll only repeat for 3 more rows. And you can keep your color the same. You can add another row for stripes, 2 stripes, 3 stripes, whatever you want to do. So I completed those rows, and I'm up through row 11 for the child size. You're up through row 10 for your toddler size, and the infant size, you're up through row 9. Now I did a stripe of the light blue through here, and then I brought my variegated back in. It's a little bit difficult to see the stripe, but it's right there. I did 3 rows and then 3 rows of the variegated. All right, so now we're done with the length of the hat, and we just need to add the band. And I wanted to show you, I'm going to cut off my yarn for the variegated. Oops, there we go. And I'm going to bring back in my solid color to do the band. And when you're trailing your yarn up on the inside, see where that yarn is? Okay, I'm just going to grab that and bring that back in. And by not cutting that, it eliminates me having to weave that in later. If you're more comfortable cutting your yarn and weaving it in, totally fine, and you can do it that way. All right, now again, this is the way that we'll do all the hat sizes. We'll be doing 3 rows of single crochet. So we'll go right in that stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, and go through both those loops. That's our single crochet. And we'll just place 1 single crochet in each of the stitches around. And we're only going through the top, not the side anymore where we did the post stitches. We're not doing that anymore. We're just stitching 1 single crochet in each stitch around. Now, something that I do when I'm making a hat like this is I try to make my single crochet hat band just a little bit tighter in my tension, just to give it a little bit better look. So no matter what size you're making, child, infant, or toddler, 1 single crochet in each stitch around. I completed this row of single crochet, working all the way around my hat. I'm going to join to the first single crochet with a slip stitch and then chain 1. When we're doing our rows of single crochet, we join to the first single crochet, not the chain 1. And now I'm going to stitch 2 more rows of single crochet around my hat so that I have 3 rows for the hat band. 1 single crochet in each stitch around, join to the first single crochet, and repeat. And remember, it's a good idea to try to keep your tension just a little bit tighter on the hat band. So I completed all 3 of those rows of single crochet around the hat for the hat band. We're going to cut our yarn. I'm going to go ahead and join with a loop, and then I'm going to take my hook over and pull that loop to the back side and then tie off. And I think it just gives it just a little bit better appearance when you do it that way. And now we need to take a couple minutes and weave in our ends. So I've got my needle, thread that, and I'm just going to go through some stitches. Whoops, came off. And I like to go one way, go up a stitch, and come back the other way. And if I have enough, I'll go a 3rd way. Now, I really want to encourage you not to go through the holes, but to go through the stitches, because it can come out if you only go through the holes. And then something that I do when I have carried the yarn across like this, I'm weaving in this yellow one, and so I'll go over that just so it helps it to stay put. And then I'll try to stay within the color that I'm working with, going through stitches and fibers of the yarn. See, I'm going right through it. All right. But by having those yarns trailed across, and here's another one I need to weave in, it eliminates having to weave in all those extras. And I will have to take a second and weave that in later. So there is our child size hat, and they're very stretchy. This is a great pattern, and it's nice and stretchy both directions. So here are the 3 front post double crochet hats. Here is the child size that we made. Here is the toddler size, and then the infant size. Really simple to make, and the only difference really is the amount of double crochets we start with at the top and the amount of rows that we stitch. Very simple to make, and you can make them in any colors. And here's the original one that I tested that's a child size using yellow and pink and white. So you can customize it however you want. Solids, variegated, it doesn't matter. It's a super simple and cute baby hat.